Hi, all. I'm live today to talk about the endless possibilities of a digital economy and just to express my massive amount of discontent about the fact that we're squandering the opportunity to work together to exert our will for positive change and abundance for everybody. There's more than enough field space, there's more than enough agricultural reality, there's more than enough ancient traditional medical knowledge to live a really healthy, sustainable, restorative, abundant lifestyle. And I'm so sick of us not being able to capitalize on this effectively because of infighting, tendency to dominate, reduction into self-interest of all things, and watching people simply squander and hoard opportunities, resources, the right of these huge conglomerate fuck ups to gouge. Look at this. This is a digital economy. What we have is five major lenders thinking they're going to create wealth whenever they want just to lend it out at an interest rate. That's absolutely obscene. It's unnecessary. The logic behind it is unheard of because we then would have to labor at a level that we would essentially be paying an interest rate and a tax rate in order to labor at our own interests. And it's just a joke. The level of poverty it creates is sickening. There's billions of children, if not all of us, that are living in a constant state of want. And that is an unnatural state that is not condoned by the universal free will. The amount of entertaining of ourselves, the amount of escapism that we do is tragic beyond my wildest dreams. And why? So we can listen to AI? It's not even real humans that are regurgitating content and expecting us to stay tuned and interested all day long while all of the opportunities are squandered. Why should there be anchors on television that get to do the reporting for 30, 40 years? It's just still one trick ponyism and completely defeatist. It's just completely wasting the opportunity to be in a creative transcendental realm, a transcendent realm that is essentially abundant. We have the capacity through just simple organization and communication to meet the needs of so many. And there are millions of children out there right now who will never experience a boat ride, a stay in a luxury resort, while some of you spend your whole life just going from one after the other, abundant overindulgence. And the creative opportunities we're letting slide as well are simply tragic because we're not, even the ones of you who are completely established, who have sold your soul into the 25, 40-year slavery, you're not even making enough to get your basic needs met right now because the gouging in countries that do have access to resources is so severe and disheartening. Like I said, in a digital realm, in a digital economy, we can create wealth to sustain any direction that we wish. And it just simply means allocating resources based on the projects that are necessary. Oh my God, I actually got a text notification on my phone. It's incredible. You know how long it took me just to get my notifications set on my cell phone when it's something that just should be by default? It's breaking me. It's breaking my heart. It's just so disenchanting and disillusioning. Anyway, I just want you to start thinking about what's possible in a digital economy, because lending the money out at an interest rate is unfathomable, just so people can profit off the creation of wealth to an extent that is absurd and unrealistic. And it's not even sustainable. It's not even functional, because so many of the world's most desperate in need children are getting zero access to opportunities because of the way we spend our money, creating conflicts, generating opportunities for mass destruction, just pouring over environmental degradation. It's been 40 years that I've been witnessing this, and it's just gotten worse. There's no opportunity to create better. But in a digital economy, there is, because we can simply assign a digital amount to any given project and execute that project. And then all we would need to do in the aftermath is to restore ourselves so that we could come up with another creative idea. If we start sharing training, if we start sharing technology, then we can create our own teams, and those teams can accomplish whatever we set out in the intention of the act. And if we can start to see ourselves as one world of humans with the same desires, which is creative expression, restorative capacity, the capacity for adventure, the capacity for education, if we start structuring through the United Nations opportunities for our own personal enhancement, for environmental repair, for greening of our technologies and the way we use them, then these children don't have to live the kind of stress, the kind of poverty, the kind of aggravation that we have come to know as par for the course. Why should only half of these people have vehicles? Why should only half of these people have sustainable jobs? Why should one person settle for 1 degree when that 1 degree could facilitate growth on some levels, and then a person moves on to desire growth in a different level, and then has the ability to reverse directions in their restorative time, learn new skills, and contribute on a wider level to a better project? There's still going to be room for upward momentum. There's still going to be room for, like I said, financial abundance. And it's just a beautiful thing. But then we go and create some Bitcoin market where people's Bitcoin wealth is getting stolen off them as soon as they make it. And just because the banks are redundant with the private rooms on these live chat features, we've got private wallets, we've got all sorts of ways to maintain our own wealth. We've got a perfectly functional transaction-based economy where transactions can occur between person and business without intervention if we maintain access to our own resources and we cut out these middlemen. And of course, all you people, your jobs are redundant now. Your jobs in the banks and the phone companies, customer service companies, it's all redundant. But that doesn't mean that we have to speak to robots at all times. And that doesn't mean that we have to watch these 2-bit billionaires go after access to the cosmos. Why can't we be sharing all that as well? What makes you think as a human, number one, you need that much sex? And number two, that you deserve access to the cosmos when you can't even get it together to function as a unit, as a holistic group of humans that are on top of their projects, that put as many trees into the earth as you take out of the earth, that put hemp in place of deforestation so that it can become more sustainable. It creates more oxygen. It can create equally functional paper products, and we're just polluting and polluting, and there's no end in sight. And you're losing really brilliant minds to this, brilliant minds that can't handle the stress of what we're doing to the world. So I just thought I'd hop on quickly today and make the plea in a digital economy to blow the lid off it and make it totally abundant. Assigning digital amounts, why should that come at an interest rate? It just shouldn't. Like, that's such a broken, beaten down system. It never worked. It has led to all sorts of hoarding, self-interest. You look at the creative artists. They sell a couple records, they make their hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars, and then they just keep it for themselves. It's such a tragic way to live. It's absolutely devoid of spirituality. It's devoid of health, wellness, restoration. And I believe in us. I believe that we can start working by project and for project so that we become more than just passive consumptive consumers that only wish to benefit our own existence. And in the wreckage of our existence, we create this huge mountain of waste that never breaks down. It just sits there. It clutters up everything. The amount of waste that we're producing is unsustainable. So much ends in a landfill that are just going to tax these resources. They're never going to break down. They just sit there for centuries. We need to be ashamed of ourselves, and we need to understand that the leadership that we have in place has absolutely zero capacity to pull off anything sustainable, meaningful, and contributive, because we're living in squalor and we don't need to be. Anyway, I just want to come on and say hi today and hope you're all doing well. And I'm happy for the ones of you that have managed to give your life to 25, 30, 40 years of slavery, only to be able to get into your car, to plant a garden, to go on a vacation, to see a different part of the world. But we could be moving on such a higher level. We could be cultivating ourselves to such a level of talent and know-how and wisdom, and yet we don't do it. We just hear these stupid, balking, dictating, paranoid, grandiose freaks trying to dictate the course for millions, and the best they can come up with is to militarize the North so that they can gain free access to the passageways that now exist because we've melted the solar ice caps. Why do you think all of southern Canada just saw the northern lights for the last week? Because somebody's shooting at the sun. Somebody is actually taking aim at a massive source of heat, resource, abundance, and healing, and helium of all things, and just shooting at it for whatever God-forsaken reason, mostly just a destruction bent. So come on, think about it. In a digital economy, you can just erase debt. You can erase personal debt. You can erase country debt. You can level the playing field and open up all of these opportunities. Middle Canada should be developed. People need to come out of Africa. They need to come out of parts of Asia. They need to come out of all of these slums and start to find the value in integrity again, in creativity again. We have it within ourselves to pull this off. And it's my dream that we can start understanding, again, AI, robot, alien, we don't care. You're obviously trying to gain access to our realm in a way that was not beneficial. We've not been welcomed into the multi-dimensions. We're just sitting here wasting ourselves, sitting here spending hours a day entertaining ourselves, escaping reality, getting obese, getting unhealthy, trying to sustain the world regionally on a hospital-based GDP when the hospital interventions do nothing for the subtle nervous system. They do nothing for the upward progression of humanity. This is not a time where Christ comes back and saves us. That's a faulty religious belief system. We have people like Sri Chinmoy, Gord Downey, who could be educating our children. If they come into the world and hear these beautiful, high, lofty, elevated offerings that already exist, if they learn practices like yoga, they learn to do their own acupuncture, if they learn to resonate with their own being, it's just, why trash the realm? Why come here and trash the realm so that, I just can't stand it anymore. I just can't stand it anymore so that a few people can appear to profit off their own slavery so that they can afford little incidentals. Well, the prices just keep skyrocketing and skyrocketing. There's less and less people able to achieve these ends. There's less and less people able to mentally handle what is required of them to work for 30, 40 years anyway. So it's time to move on. And the only way to do that, the best way to do it in a digital economy, which is such a blessing, is to allocate resources based on the projects necessary. Share training and train teams of individuals that are capable of pulling off the work. We have an abundance of talented people. We have an abundance of talented people living in squalor. The addictions, they've just got to stop. The manufacturing of all these highs and escapist and damaging tendencies is just making God cry. He's got to be crying at this point to see humanity not struggling. We're not struggling. We're self-annihilating in an abundant realm where we could be pulling off any amount of creativity, any amount of poverty reduction, any amount of environmental cleanup. And certainly we need to develop a restoration infrastructure where we're able to learn something new every year, where we're able to take adventures every year, where we're able to develop ourselves spiritually every year, and where we're able to contribute to projects so that we can eventually learn to oversee projects and manifest that vision that is going to be required to actually lead or head a project. Anyway, I just thought I'd share these thoughts today. Hope you're doing well. And I really miss not knowing all of you. I think we're just wasting another opportunity with live streams dedicated to groups that are basic tools or vessels of sexual exploitation and deviance. Like, we couldn't be doing more things wrong right now if we tried. But we have this huge potential now in a digital economy to make it an abundant economy where everybody has all they need. And I'm going to advocate for that in the years to come, after I try and get my miserable life together and what's left of it. Because when I was a kid, I was taught this was a project-based realm. We had governments, which we don't need, to facilitate development across all boards. And I readied myself to be poised, to be functional. And all I got was a bunch of idiots out there just babbling about shit, babbling about their next great adventure, babbling about their most recent escapist tendency. And I just don't fit in anywhere within it. So hopefully my life is short. I'd love it. I'd just love to leave this place and never come back. It's been such a nightmare trying to come to grips with the wasted opportunity that humanity has squandered itself into and just reduced itself needlessly. What? Because of paranoid fears of each other, because the tendency to dominate resources and then to profit on the small scale exponentially off offering very little to anybody. Most of the greatest profiteers that we have to endure in this day and age don't even contribute anything effective. They don't contribute anything meaningfully, and they just, I don't know. I don't know, it's just such a skewed system where too few people benefit, too, and even fewer people live a life that is cohesive, reflective of the divine, reflective of self-care and abundant health. And I would just love to see us blow the doors off this thing with a digital economy that you could just replenish at will. Replenish it at will. You don't need to replenish it in certain amounts that you can profit off of through interest rates and get back. It is what it is. We need to start taking better care of ourselves, our planet, each other, and our cosmic opportunity, because we do have access to multi-dimensional realities now. We have access to the best in the universe, let alone not just the worst, not just the most exploitative, not just the two-dimensional robotic. Like, I can't possibly watch another YouTube video. I can't possibly escape this realm anymore. I have to go into a life of complete service, dedication. There's not even those hardly any of those opportunities left to give your life of service, to be part of a convent, to live your life in prayer. There's no mentorship in those realities. And it's just so disheartening. I just want so much more for all you children out there. And it's going to start by being together, recognizing that your influence on the realm changes the realm, and that it's an abundant realm. We could just move in any direction we wanted, get any project accomplished we wanted, move people out of these huge war-torn regions, huge slums, poverty-stricken regions, affect cleanup. We can dematerialize waste. We don't have to do anything outside of anything that doesn't break down entirely. We can do away with steel. We can do away with aluminum. We can do away with electronic wiring. We can do away with the use of heavy pollutants. But we've just got to apply the ingenuity. And never before has there been more of an opportunity than in a digital economy to pull that off. So start thinking about that. Why would we want 5 major lenders lending us our own labor back at an interest rate? That's where we sit. It is just disheartening as hell. And all of your major so-called leaders, all they can do is micromanage 1 or 2 prime opportunities. Right now, militarizing the North so that they can open passageways. And why would we want all of our ID linked into our work organization, totally traceable, total histories maintained by centralized locations that we don't even have copies of these records? It's just tragic. And these hospitals, they have to become self-sustaining. The mental health acts, all these ways that they pull people in and calling them harmful, ruining their lives, disrupting their freedom, taking down their jobs, their apartments, things like that, only to mandate observation. I just can't stand it. I can't stand where the world is right now. And if God could give me anything, it would be quick leave. Because I'm not going poverty. I can't sit outside in the winter. I'm not even bred for that. And I can't watch it anymore. I can't sit and watch squander after squander, entitlement, grandiosity, like I said, delusion level, paranoid levels. These are all mental health issues that need to be addressed. They're not normative, and they're not something that we should be giving any credence to, especially in a digital economy. All right. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Nice to see you. Love you lots.